Hello there, running-ears. It's Manny, and I've got to do this video because a couple people have been asking, and somebody flat out asked, hey, when are you going to talk about resorts again? It's been a long time since I talked about resorts. We're specifically talking about the resorts for race weekend, race days, you know, before, after, and so forth and so on. We're specifically talking about Disney World in Florida, so we're not going to touch. I'm going to touch a little bit, very, very little on Disneyland. So I'm going to go over the types of resorts that they have there at Disney World, the proximity, is there transportation? A really important one is, when are you supposed to get your resort? When should you get your reservations? And of course, I'll throw out my tidbits and I'll say which ones are my favorites, which ones I like staying at, and I'll go over all that with you starting very soon. But first off, I just want to thank you guys again. This is your channel, so this particular topic is because of you. Some people have been asking behind the scenes. Somebody flat out said, when are you going to do this video again? And this is why I do these videos, because you guys are out there, you're asking questions, you guys wanted the information, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you. Thank you very much. Subscribe if you have not done so far. And of course, hit the notification bell, because that way when these videos come out, they're usually every Thursday unless something really big breaks. And of course, during race week, I'm going to be all over the place, so that's that. But usually every Thursday, they're going to be coming out. But without further ado, let's get to it. So guys, I said I was going to start off with just basically touching a little bit on Disneyland. Disneyland is a little bit different because there you can walk different from the start to different resorts. They only have 3 on-site resorts that are Disney properties. So guys, it's a totally different ball game. I'll do a video once we get closer there, so you guys can get an idea of what you can expect from there. But let's go to now Disney World. Now remember, this video is about Disney World in Florida and the resorts there. So guys, there's a lot of on-property resorts, I should say. I believe it's 21. It's up to 21 now, but they're actually different classifications. So we're going to go over the classifications. So the first one is the value resorts, and the value resorts include Art of Animation, Pop Century, and all 3 of the All-Star resorts, which are sports, music, and movies. Now the reason that they're called value resorts is because they're usually the cheapest to get. They may not be cheap, but they're the cheapest to get while you're there on property. Now we go to the moderate hotels, which is usually the Port Orleans resorts. We got Fort Wilderness. We also have the Coronado Springs. I kind of always mix those up. And of course, the Caribbean Beach. Now those are a little bit more expensive, and so but they usually have a little bit more. So they're going to have maybe extra fans or something in the room, but they're just a little bit more. It's kind of like a little bit of an upgrade. So now we go to the deluxe resorts, and there's especially like the ones around Magic Kingdom. There's some around Epcot, which is also Hollywood Studios area. So Animal Kingdom has Animal Kingdom Lodge. So they are the deluxe resorts. Those are usually the Contemporary, the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, Animal Kingdom Lodge, like we just said, the Beach and the Yacht Club. They're all right there. They're the ones that are more expensive. So they are the deluxe hotels. Then we also have the villas, which are usually connected to the DVC, Disney Vacation Club. So yes, you can stay there during Run Disney. You can either buy it direct from Disney, or sometimes some resellers. And this is a place where resellers can be very good. They sell the points so that you can actually make reservations. There's some actually legitimate resellers. I don't know any off the top of my head, but there is some legitimate resellers. You just want to Google Disney World DVC resellers. You can get it. So actually, there's been times where they're actually decently cheap. So I've seen Animal Kingdom Lodge for a very decent price. I've seen Yacht and the Beach Club for a decent price. But guys, that's something that you guys can look at. But that's another level. That's the villas. And again, a lot of them are DVC. So then we talk about 3 different ones that are, one is associated with Disney, the other 2 are not, but they are on Disney property. So this is the Swan and the Dolphin, which are owned by a third party, and then you got Shades of Green. Shades of Green is specifically for veterans and their families, so it is on Disney property. So if you're a veteran, you can look up Shades of Green, you can call to make your reservations to stay there. And then I guess the next one you could do is bunch everybody into like the ones that are not in Disney property. So like the Bonnet Creek, there's the Four Seasons, there's the Disney Spring area hotels, which are very, very close to Disney Springs. They're very close, so again, a lot of people will take them into consideration because of the price. Now, also keep in consideration that, especially when I've looked at them in the past, may not be that way right now, but in the past it was that they actually had some fees. So like parking fees, which you don't pay at Disney anymore. And then there's the resort fees, because that's the resort fees are the ones that they do because you're using their amenities, you're using their buses to go to and from Disney World. So those are the fees that they will add on. So what I always do is I tack on those fees to see if maybe the value resorts is a little bit cheaper. But since I stay on property most of the time, I don't even take them into consideration. But you also got to take into consideration that there's even outside of those, there's more properties there. They might be a little bit cheaper. They might be more convenient because of the size of your family, or you need to have something there, a kitchen, something to that effect. So there's always places that you can look at. But again, we're going to talk about that when it comes to transportation. But before we do, you got to look into consideration the proximity of these hotels, like the 21 that are there, and this is including the Swan, the Dolphin, and the Shades of Green. They're all on Disney property. So it's almost like this little town in itself. So just it's a bubble once you go underneath the arcs, you know, the Walt Disney World arcs, you are there. So all of these are right there. So the proximity is right there. If you're staying outside, you're going to have to come in. And again, that's going to affect your transportation. So I'll go over this. Now we're talking about transportation, guys. Every resort on Disney World property, which includes the Swan, the Dolphin, and Shades of Green, all have transportation to and from the expo and to and from the start and the finish of the run. So guys, if you're looking at, a lot of people will sit there going like, well, I need to find somewhere that's close to the start. The reason I say it doesn't really matter is because you cannot walk to the start, guys. So just to get that out of your mind, you can't walk through the start. There is some hotels where you can actually see the start. I've been there before. If you try to walk across and you get caught, you can get banned. They're going to throw you out because you have to walk through security. So you're going to have to take the buses that are coming around, and they're going to have to take you to the front of Epcot, because almost every run right now, I haven't seen any exceptions in a while, start at Epcot. So we go through security there, and you have to go through security. And there has been statements that Disney has put out saying, hey guys, you need to not walk across, which means people are trying to walk across, guys. And they have now started saying that if you get caught, you can be banned. So guys, do not try this. So do not walk across. So going back to it, proximity, yes, you might be able to see the start from your hotel. Should you take the transportation? Yes, definitely. Don't walk across. So guys, again, you cannot walk to the start of the run. So guys, can you go back after the run and walk back? And the answer is, it depends. So it just depends. So like for the 5K, we finished so early, maybe there's not enough transportation going on. So for example, let's go to the half marathon. And so for sure, you're going to be finishing up in Epcot. You finish in the front of Epcot. Hey, I'm staying in an Epcot hotel, so back of Epcot. Can I walk back there? And the answer is, if you have a ticket or a reservation, if you're an annual pass holder, you can go in there and you can walk all the way back. Yeah, you can do that once the park is open. Once the park is open and you can legitimately get into the park. So guys, you can do that. My suggestion is, especially after a long race, or if you're doing a challenge, a 10K and the half marathon and the full marathon, is take the transportation. When you finish, it's not that far away. Now, transportation is going to get you closer to your hotel, so you don't have to make that long walk. And let's say you're staying at one of the Skyliner hotels, so you're going to have to walk all the way over there. You're going to have to get on the Skyliner, get off, maybe get back on if you're going to go all the way to Pop Century or Art of Animation. So guys, I would just take the regular transportation that is right there. So there is one big exception that's been going on lately. It happens. I think it happens all the time, but I never stay in these hotels, so I don't know, but I read about this, is the monorails. The monorails usually in the 5Ks and 10Ks, they usually don't run. I would check as we get closer and we get the event guide, check to make sure. But once we get to the half marathons and the marathons, the resorts that are the resorts that are Magic Kingdom, so that is the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, and the Contemporary, they'll be running, so you can actually get on the monorail and they will take you. You got to go to the transportation center, then you got to go to Epcot. And I remember seeing everybody coming in, so people were coming in during that time. And obviously, it should be running afterward. so that's fine. The big one is going to be the Skyliner. The Skyliner will only run when the park hours allow it to. So it's usually about half an hour, 45 minutes before the park opens. So there's a chance that in the 5K and maybe even the 10K, it might not be running. So guys, again, use a transportation that is given to you. Again, if you're going to use a Skyliner, let's say you do the 10K and you finish, you hang around there, the park opens up, you can. If you have a ticket, you can go all the way back and you can take the Skyliner. Again, it's up to you. If you have a challenge and the next day you're going to be running again, so I would sit there and say maybe, take a load off your legs and walk back to where the transportation is, which is a lot closer. Take that shuttle to that area hotel, whether it be the yacht club, the beach club, the Swan, the Dolphin, so forth and so on. But guys, so that is basically transportation. So one other note, if you're staying off property, so you're staying at one of the area hotels, the Bonnet, the Four Seasons, any of the Disney Springs hotels, or anything that's outside of there, guys, usually they do not have race day transportation, at least nothing that is set up. I've never seen it, and you guys have seen my videos. And even at the expo, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they're usually just Disney ones. But what I would do is call them directly and ask them. They may have some direct buses every once in a while. I don't know. I haven't been there in a long time. But chances are you're going to have to take a taxi, a Lyft, or an Uber to the start and to the finish and to the expo and back. But guys, I would contact that hotel, that resort, and ask them, do you guys have transportation? And again, just in case they tell you no and you show up and yes, they do have it, that'd be great. If they say yes, we have it, then you show up and no. I would always be prepared, because again, historically, I've never seen that, and I know that a lot of people, the people that I know that have stayed on property, have had to use a Lyft or Uber, and so be prepared for anything. So guys, what is the criteria that you should use to pick a resort? And to me, there should be two different things. It's going to be accommodation and budget. So accommodations is, do you need something something specifically? For example, if you need a kitchenette to cook, if there's a large family and you're going to need a villa because there's so many of you guys there, and it's just better for you guys to stay in one place versus getting 3 or 4 different hotel rooms. So guys, that's one thing. The second thing is going to be budget, price. So guys, do you have unlimited budget and you want to stay somewhere where it's great, it's fantastic, you're going to be looking at the resort, they're going to have some great amenities there, or are you're like me, too. I go regularly and I start looking at, okay, where can I get the best deal? Somewhere where I know I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna get a little bit of a good deal, a good price on that one. So guys, those are the things that I would look at. So guys, when should you get your hotel? That's a great question that people ask. When am I supposed to get my reservation? And the answer is probably as soon as possible, especially if you're staying on Disney property, because most of those reservations they don't charge you if you cancel within a certain time period. It's usually about a week or so before. So guys, if you know you're going to be running, or there's a chance you're going to be running, go ahead and get those reservations. You only have to make a down payment. Again, if you do it online, they're going to tell you what the down payment is. If not, the travel agent will tell you. And again, that's refundable. So guys, if you want to do that, if you're thinking about running Wine and Dine and you sit there going like, should I reserve it? Registration isn't for another month and a half, 2 months, whatever it is, and I might not get in it. But at least if you get the free cancellation, if you don't get in it, you can just cancel the resort, and so you get your money back, guys. But guys, I would get the resort as soon as possible. The longer you wait, the more chances are that you're not going to get the ones that you wanted. So guys, but also on the flip side, if you don't get the one that you want, you're going to have to get a more expensive one. Keep checking, because what a lot of people do is they have 2 or 3 reservations they made for, let's say, Wine and Dine. And all of a sudden, a couple weeks before, they cancel 2 of them, and because they want to get one that they want to stay with the one that whatever they chose. Well, all of a sudden, your resort might pop up open. So that has happened to me before too. So guys, keep checking. It doesn't mean it will, but there's a chance that it will. So that's another thing that you could do with your resorts. And guys, this is a bonus thing. All right, guys. So start looking for deals, guys. If you have an annual pass, if you're a D23 member, if you have the Disney Visa card. They're just sales that go on all the time, and then they pop up. So let's say you make your reservation for November. There's no sale right now, but let's say June comes around and the sale picks up. You can go in there and redo it. You can call them. If you've got a travel agent, you call them. You call Disney, or you can do it online. I do it myself because now the deals come out, so I can click on the deal saying, hey, you're eligible for 25% annual pass holder discount. So I can click on that and I can get my discount, and so now my price is reduced. So this is a bonus thing that a lot of people don't look at, and I look at it this way. You might save yourself $100, $200. I would save myself up to $400, guys. When you do that, that's a really, really good chunk of merchandise that you can get. That's a race registration that you can get. So guys, just look at those. A lot of people don't. Once they register, they don't look at it. I look at it periodically to see if I can get a better deal. So now, which ones are my favorites? And of course, I've kind of I bunched them into the what's it called, 4 different ones. So the area ones, the deluxe, the moderate, and the value. And I'm gonna go through all of them, and I'll tell you which one is my favorite. So have I ever stayed in the area ones? And the answer is yes. Early on, I did stay in the area ones. Ironically enough, this was a long time ago. This is 14 years ago. 14 years ago that I stayed in an area hotel. And yes, they did have transportation. They charged us more, so I had to go and get my ticket, and I was able to do it. But they had race day transportation. They had expo transportation, so I didn't have to worry about that. So that was a cool thing. But it's probably not my favorite to stay in there because, again, to me, it's like you're adding another step, and that's just me. I'm adding another step on how to get over there versus knowing that the transportation is right there. And so that's why it's my least favorite. So now we go to deluxe, which is I would love to stay in the deluxe, but we talked a little bit about price. And since I go to all the runs, and then I go to grand openings, I go to pass holder previews, I go to different things. So I usually am very budget conscious. So guys, the deluxe would be the ones that I skip out on, usually just because I'm just thinking about my budget. So guys, what about the moderate hotels? I love the moderate hotels. My favorite one that I like staying at is Port Orleans Riverside. So I like Port Orleans Riverside. I got to know some of the staff there, and I stayed there for a couple of runs. It's been pretty good. I like it, but again, I'm going to rank it as my second favorite just because of the price point. The budget is a little bit higher. I was able to get just outstanding deals those 2 times that I stayed there, guys. So that's why I stayed there, and again, I cherish that situation. But again, it would be number 2 on my list would be the moderates. And number 1, because of the price and it's just easy to get in and out, is the value resorts. And more specifically, I like staying at All-Star Music. All-Star Music is in between. So we got sports, then we got music, and then we got movies. And it's in the middle. So this is a little tip too. Guys, if you are just going there for fun, so you're just going to the parks for fun, guys, and you're staying at All-Star Music, and let's say the shuttle's taking a long time to come, but the shuttle for the sports gets there, you can actually get off of there and you can walk over to music. It's not that far, and sometimes it's happened to me before where my room is actually closer to either the bus stop at sports or the bus stop at movies. But either way, guys, they all have transportation to and from, so it's not something I worry about. And it's rarely, with the exception of one race, which was Princess 2021, where the buses got lost, and it was because of construction going on, and they got the wrong information. So that was there. I was lucky enough to be in a bus where we knew we were going the wrong way. We told the driver agreed with us and went to the right way. So when we got there was hardly anybody there because they were all going to the wrong place. So guys, with that anomaly, usually we get to the start pretty easy. So again, I go back to the value resorts. I just usually walk up there, and there's usually 2 or 3 buses lined up, sometimes even 4 or 5. And so I just get on my bus, wait in there, go to the start, and I don't have to worry about coming back. Usually, again, for the value resorts, especially the All-Stars, I usually have 2 or 3 buses waiting. Again, at the very end, have I had to wait a while? Yes. Do the lines get long at times? Yes. But it's not that bad, guys, and it doesn't take that long. So that's my favorite, and again, because I'm budget conscious and I go there so often. But guys, that's my favorite. So guys, with that, I'm just going to say thank you very much for watching. guys, keep commenting down below. That's the important thing. When you guys comment down below, it gives me ideas to video blog about. And again, next week I am going to do my regular my video. It's going to be on how to register, tips and tricks on registration, because registration is coming soon for the new Halloween Disneyland run. And so that's going to be coming up next week. But without further ado, guys, create a magical day. Guys, create a magical run. And guys, see you sooner than later.